Welcome everybody. In previous presentation we have seen a representation of truth table on K-map. Now we are going to see a representation of standard SOP on K-map. So in order to understand this particular topic, you must know a min term, max term, SOP, and then standard SOP. So if you are not knowing, then it's my request that you just watch my presentation on SOP, then standard SOP, POS, standard POS, min term, max term. So try to clear all those terms, then you can easily understand this particular topic. So now let's start. So we have given one function f, and suppose it is defined something like this. So suppose we want to represent this function on the K-map. So first of all, tell me whether this particular function is in standard SOP form. Whether it is SOP, sum of product. Yes, it is sum of product. So this is SOP. Whether it is standard SOP. So we can say that SOP is standard SOP if each and every product term present in that SOP has all literal. So this is function of three variable ABC, right? So observe each and every product term. So this product term contains 3 literal, this product term contains 3 literal, this product term also contains 3 literal. So I can say that this particular function is in standard SOP form. So now let's try to represent this function on the K-map. So again here one question may come in your mind, that why it is required to represent this function on K-map. Why to represent this particular function on the K-map? By using this particular logical expression, is it possible to design a digital circuit? Yes. So this particular function may be defining some digital circuit. I told you that there are various ways by which we can describe behavior of the digital circuit. We can make use of truth table, then we can make use of logical expression, logical function. So this function may be representing some digital circuit. So if I want to implement that particular digital circuit, so see what I have to do. I have to make use of a number of gates. Okay, so in order to implement this function, maybe we have to use a NOT gate. Okay, then OR gate, we have to use some AND gate. So we will require some basic gate. So before designing any circuit, you should check that given function is in minimized form, given logical expression is minimized. Because if a given logical expression is minimized, then the circuit which we are going to develop from this particular logical expression will be simple. It will contain less number of components. Okay, so here we want to minimize this particular expression. So that's why we want to represent this function on K-map. Now I hope point is clear to you why we are going to represent this function on K-map. Okay, now again, in order to represent this particular function on K-map, you must know min term and max term. We have seen some difference between min term and max term. So please remember those difference. Okay, let us revise those difference between min term and max term. So the first difference was min term is present in standard SOP, max term is present in standard POS. Then min term is product term. So see, I can say that this is min term, then this is min term, this is min term. Okay. Then in case of min term, 0 means, yes, very important, in case of min term, 0 means complemented form. Okay, so 0 means complement and 1 means uncomplemented form of variable. Okay, we have seen this difference also. In case of min term, 0 means complemented form of variable and 1 means uncomplemented form of variable. And in case of max term, what happens? 0 means, in case of max term, 0 means, yes, uncomplemented form and 1 means complemented form of variable. Please don't get confused, it is very simple. Then in case of min term, again important difference. In case of min term, we have seen that output is 1. Okay, and in case of max term, output is 0. So here we are going to discuss only min term. So just focus on this two important point. In case of min term, what happens? 0 means complement and 1 means uncomplemented form of variable, and in case of min term, output is always 1. Okay, now let's try to represent this particular function in terms of min term notation. This point is already discussed. So here we will try to represent this particular function in terms of minterm. Okay, so see, this is first minterm. Here we have a bar a prime. So a prime means what will be the value of a here? Yes, it should be 0, because just now I told you that in case of minterm 0 means complement. So here we have complemented form of a, so that's why value of a will be 0. Here also we have complemented form of b, so that's why value of b should be 0. And c is also in complemented form, so c should also have value 0. Okay, so for this particular minterm I can say that values of a, b, c are 0, 0, 0. Then consider next minterm. Here a is in uncomplemented form, so that's why what should be the value of a here? 1. Then b and c, they are in complemented form, so that's why they will be 0, 0. Then what about a, b, c? They are in uncomplemented form, so that's why their values will be 1, 1, 1. Right, so now we have got this binary number, so just convert this binary number into a decimal number. So 0, 0, 0, 0, right? So I can say that 0 is minterm present in this function. Then 1, 0, 0, convert it into decimal, so it will be 4, right? 1, 2, 4, it will be 4. So I can say that 4 is minterm that is present in this function. 0, okay, so first minterm is 0. Actually I have to write like this, m0. Then next minterm that is present in this particular function is m4. Okay, so using mouse it is very difficult to show all these things properly. Okay, so please understand. Then 1, 1, 1, so it is binary number, so convert it into decimal. So if I convert it into decimal, then I will get m7. So I can say that m0, m4 and m7 are the minterm that are present in this function. Okay, so this minterms can be shown like this. F is equal to summation m, then in bracket 0. Okay, so this is symbol for minterm, m0, m4 and m7. So these are three minterms that are present in this particular function. Right, now let's try to represent this function on K-map. So here first of all you have to decide what type of K-map shall I use. 2 variable, 3 variable, 4 variable, simple. But you have to do, just you have to observe how many variables are there. So in this function there are 3 variables, so that's why you should use 3 variable K-map. In 3 variable K-map, how many cells are present? 8 cells, 2 raised to 3. Already you know format of 3 variable K-map. Okay, so 3 variable K-map is like this. So here we have inputs A, B and C. Now we have seen that each and every cell present in K-map will correspond to one particular minterm. Again, please try to understand this statement. So for example, this first cell. So first cell will correspond to which minterm? Yes, 0, right? So here 0, 0, 0. So first cell will correspond to 0. Next cell correspond to 1. Then where is 2? So 2 is here. Okay. So 2 is here. So I can say that this particular cell is corresponding to minterm 2. Okay. Then 3 is here. Then 4, then 5, 6 and 7 like this. Okay, so see 4, after that 5, after that 6 is in the last cell and 7 is here. Right, now what we have to do now? Just we have to represent this particular function on this K-map. Okay, now see which is first minterm that is present in this function? 0. It's very simple. Which is first minterm that is present in this function? 0. Now in this K-map you have to identify the cell which is corresponding to minterm 0. So which is that cell? Yes, this particular cell. So this particular cell is corresponding to minterm 0. Right, now this minterm 0 is present in this function. So what is output of the minterm? 1. What is output of minterm? We have seen that output of minterm is 1. Please try to concentrate. So that's why in this cell I should write 1. Clear? Then which is next minterm that is present in this function? m4. Now in this K-map, which is the cell that is corresponding to minterm m4? Yes, this particular cell. So that's why in this cell I should write 1. Why I am writing 1? So see, we are representing minterms on the K-map. Okay, we are representing minterms on the K-map, and in this function we have only 3 minterms, 0, 4, 7. Output of minterm is 1, so that's why here I am writing 1. Now which is next minterm that is present in this function? 7. Okay, so in this K-map you have to identify the cell which correspond to minterm 7. So this particular cell correspond to minterm 7, so that's why here I should write 1. Okay, So in this KMF we have 8 cell. Out of that 8 cell we have filled data in 3 cell. What about remaining 5 cells? So remaining 5 cells will correspond to max term, right? In this function we have only 3 min term, okay, that is 0, 4, 7, and we know that by using 3 variable, actually how many combinations are possible? 2 raised to 3, 8 combinations are possible. Out of that 8 combination, only 3 combinations are corresponding to min term. So what about remaining combinations? So remaining combination will correspond to max term, and what is output of max term? 0. So see, that's why what we have to do here. So here I should write 0, then here also I should write 0, because this particular cell, they are corresponding to max term. Here also I will write 0, and here also I will write 0. So in this way we can represent given function which is in standard SOP form on KMF.